Hello, welcome to the Perfecto Scriptless Mobile Introduction course. In this video, we will learn about a few more of the advanced features and possibilities of the Scriptless Mobile tool. Working with multiple devices. Your application might look a bit different depending on the device you work with. Working with multiple devices allows you to compare the view on different mobile phones and reduce the flagginess in your tests. While creating a test in Scriptless Mobile, there is a possibility to work with several devices at the same time. To do that, we start with opening a first device by clicking Open Device button, choosing a mobile device, and clicking Select. After that, we will add another device by repeating the same steps. Now, we will repeat the process and add a third device. After the last device is loaded, we should adjust the view to see all three devices at the same time. For that, we will utilize the Fit function in the right bottom corner. Now we can see and work with all three devices and compare how our application looks and runs on each one of them. Note that for running the test manually, we will need to choose one of the devices at a time. Schedule execution. In Scriptless Mobile, there is a possibility to schedule a test execution to run on a regular basis. Under Scheduler option in the toolbar, there is a possibility to see all existing scheduled jobs or create a new one. Let's see how to schedule a new job. Click Scheduler and choose Schedule a new job option. In the open screen, enter a job name. Select the task that you want to execute regularly and adjust the runtime variable if needed. There is a possibility to add a notification by email or SMS on a certain condition. As example, we will select a notification by email on test failure. Next, we need to set a recurrence. We have an option to schedule a one-time run to a certain date and time. Also, we can choose to run the test every certain amount of minutes or hours or days. There is a possibility to choose days of the week when the test will run. Or we can select an advanced option and enter our own cron expression. Cron expression is a certain format that is used for scheduling tasks to run periodically. It is widely used not only in test automation and help us automate a lot of processes which otherwise would require a human intervention. If you feel like standard scheduler options cannot fully cover your needs and you need help with building a more complicated cron expression, feel free to contact our professional services team who will be happy to help with your challenges. As a last step, we can edit the start date and time. By default, current date and time is selected. And there is also a possibility to select the end date and time if needed. We can also schedule a job without the end date. Click Create and your job will be saved. After you have created a scheduled job, you can edit it, disable, enable, or delete the job. To see all these options, we choose Scheduler and click View all scheduled jobs. In the open window, we can see all the jobs scheduled on our cloud and information about each one of them. We see job name, when will be the next run of the job, who is the job creator, the recurrence information, and the last run date. If we click on the last run date time link, we're navigated to the report library where we can see the latest report and the history of the selected job runs. Embeddable tests. Embeddable tests allow us to save several steps in a separate test and reuse those steps whenever it's needed to build other test cases. Let's see how to use embeddable test functionality on the example. I have prepared a short task that opens the application and logs in. In order to reuse it in another task, we need to save the current one first. I have saved this test on the cloud, and now we can create a new test. To add an embeddable test, we need to click on Embeddable Test tab, find the needed test, and drag it from the left session to the new test. As you can see, the previously created steps are added to the new test. This way, we don't need to create the required steps each time for each new test, but can simply utilize the embeddable test functionality. Conditions. Conditions allow us to split the test into two logical flows. First, onSuccess executes if the condition check was successful. And second, onFailure, if the condition check failed. Let's see how to use conditions on the example. We start with adding a condition to the test. For that, we click on the corresponding button on the top menu. Next, we need to add the statement that will be evaluated as condition. For this example, we will check the presence of the settings icon on the screen. In order to add the needed command as condition, we will drag and drop the needed item from the left menu under the statement clause. In the settings, we will add a locator for the needed element. Next, we need to identify what do we do on the condition check being successful. For our example, we will add a click on the element that was found as a previous step. On condition failure, we add a comment to the test report stating that element was not found and click on the element was not performed. Now we will run our test and see two possible outcomes. First, we run the test when the specified element is visible and observe the success clause being executed. Once execution is finished, we can open a report and see the expected steps there. As you can see, condition check was successful and onSuccess step was executed. Second time, we run the test when the specified element is not visible and condition is expected to fail. Now, test execution is finished and we can see the expected result. Let's also open the test report and see that the comment from onFailure clause was added. Data tables. Data tables help us to utilize the data-driven approach in test automation. Let's see what is data table and how to work with it on the example. On the top menu bar, we have a button Data Table, which allows us to create a new data table manually. Also view existing ones or import a data table from a CSV file stored locally. Let's see how to create a new data table. We will create a table with a list of URLs that we want to visit. Start by clicking Create New Data Table. In the opened window, we will give it a name. Then we type a name of a column of data. Next, we can choose the data type. It can be device, media, string, boolean, or a number. In our case, it will be a simple string. After data type is selected, we add as many rows as we have values to add into this column. I will add 3 rows and add the data inside. Now my data table is ready and I'm going to save it in my local folder. Please note that if you're saving your data table into a personal folder, it will not be accessible by other users on your cloud. Now we can use the saved table inside the test. I have prepared a simple test which has a single browser go-to command. To use data table as an input parameter for the browser go-to command, we need to follow 3 steps. Step 1. We will add our data table as a test variable. We learned how to do this earlier. Type of the variable will be data table, and for the value we select the table that we have just created. Second step is to surround the browser go-to command with a loop, as we want our test to iterate over the list of values inside our data table. In the configuration pop-up for the loop, we select the data table we previously created. And the last step, replace the hard-coded value of the browser go-to command with the data table. For that, we open the command settings, choose type of the URL parameter data table, and select the needed data table. The column field automatically detects the needed type of the data that needs to coincide with the data type of the URL parameter. And now we can run this test and view the report. In the report, we see the browser go-to command was executed 3 times, as we have 3 values in the data table, each time with a different URL value as it was expected. We can edit the data table, add or remove values from the column we created, and our test will pick up the changes automatically. For example, I will remove one of the values from our data table and run the test again. For that, I click Open a data table, choose my data table and click Edit. Now I remove one value and save the changes. After that, we will run the test again and view the report. In the report, we see that browser go-to command was executed only 2 times as was expected. This was the overview of the advanced features and possibilities of the Perfecto Scriptless Mobile. Thank you for watching the video.